Fighting Poverty and Beyond. Poverty can be defined in many different ways. Absolute poverty, informational poverty, relative poverty, or human poverty. No matter how it is defined or measured, poverty continues to be a persistent problem of significant concern. Poverty presents moral and political challenges to all societies. Charity and aid can no longer be seen as long-term, sustainable solutions to poverty. There are numerous debilitating consequences that have been connected with poverty. So many so that no matter the struggle or the level of difficulties, poverty simply cannot be ignored. According to Duncan, children living in persistent poverty appear to be at greater risk for serious academic failure, and the potential contribution to society remains limited, in the quote. According to Lewis, children raised in low-income families score lower than children from more affluent families on assessments of health, cognitive development, school achievement, and emotional well-being, end of quote. Low achievement, grade repetition, and classroom conduct problems are often precursors of school dropout. Adolescence, parenthood, jobless, and delinquency. According to Zill, the finding that poor children exhibit these problems at rates double those shown by non-poor children means the cycle of disadvantage is still with us, end of quote. Unless effective interventions are found and applied, many children will go on to become adult non-workers and impoverished parents, producing another generation of at-risk children. Information poverty relates to the availability and accessibility of essential information that people need for development. There's a link between economic and informational poverty. According to a World Bank, 20% of the world's population possesses 86% of the world's financial wealth, 71% of the telephone lines, and 90% of access to the internet. The assets of the three executives of Microsoft are greater than the combined assets of the 43 poorest countries in the world, more than 600 million people. The gap between the rich and the poor is continually increasing. As one can see, regardless of where the poverty stems from, the need for social change is great. One such program that was designed to inspire this change is known as the welfare system. What is welfare? Welfare includes 60 federal and state programs, including food stamps and aid to the elderly and disabled. How did welfare begin? Welfare began in the 1930s as a short-term government effort designed to help people survive the Great Depression. In the 1960s, it was expanded in an attempt to conquer poverty. What's the purpose? The purpose is to cushion families against temporary poverty, divorce, job loss, and allow poor mothers to keep their children. Who gets welfare? About 14 million people, including 9.5 million children, receive welfare. Eligibility is based on income. Recipients are 40% white, 37% black, 18% Hispanic, and 5% other. How much do people receive? Individual payments average $374 per month, but vary by state. Within 2 years, 70% get off of welfare, but half return. Social workers play a vital role in the war against poverty. Many social workers' hands on impoverished individuals. Social workers seek out alternatives for many or help with job search. Social workers advocate for change and implications of new or adjusted policies. Social workers assist individuals in life skills that are needed to cope with situation stress. Social workers attempt to help families in staying together and working through difficult situations. Social workers encourage and empower others in letting their voice be heard. Social workers fight for equal treatment and opportunities for all. Social workers support change, and welfare reform is one area in which most can agree change is necessary. Many feel that the welfare reform is not top priority. Most will agree that the system discourages the type of behavior it should encourage. The system does not support people who participate in welfare programs and finding jobs that will provide income for themselves and their families. With most in agreement that something must be done, what are some possibilities of effective change? Work subsidies is one such proposal for change. Instead of removing people for assistance upon returning to work, subsidies could be given to individuals making a set wage or below. Supplement income will be given to individuals working a set amount of hours until their income raises above the set point. Another possible proposal to help people in poverty would be to lower tax rates and to raise the earned income credit. This change would allow individuals to retain a more substantial portion of their wage, allowing for the possibilities of better living and less reliance on the system. An increase in the earned income credit would allow for possibilities not limited to, but including catching up on bills, putting down a security deposit or for housing, purchasing a vehicle, or saving for the future expenses. Another important factor is eradicating poverty is in the way we think. We must arm ourselves with a clear understanding of a real cause and alternative solution. In my opinion, education is another key. A lack of education leads to serious problems, including poverty and early childbearing. The undereducated are disproportionately represented in the ranks of the poor. Education is the best escape route from a life of poverty. Education brings with it improved health care, opportunities, the chance of prosperity, and hope for the future. Education gives people new skills and empowers them to take advantage of new opportunities. Education raises productivity. Education empowers people to take control of their lives and provide a self-confidence needed to make opinions heard. Where then should be to attempt to instill the skills necessary for individuals to increase their possibilities for attaining education. The Department of Welfare would be the route in which such change would begin. When an individual seeks assistance through the department, they often provide medical coverage, food assistance, and small monetary funds. What the individual often lacks are basic life skills, which are essential for the individual to continue the needs that brought them there in the first place. Funds need to be allocated and education classes could be required in order to obtain assistance. One of the most common complaints that I have heard of the welfare system is the non-reciprocators often witness the reciprocators purchase high-priced items with food stamps at the grocery store. I do believe if each person was taught how to bargain shop and how to budget, those families could be adequately fed on far fewer funds. With the reduction of this type of funding and additional funding sought, more skills could be taught. Classes can be taught by college interns or qualified volunteers to limit costs. Class materials should include parenting skills, stress management, money management, self-awareness, self-esteem, interviewing, resume writing, anger management, college grants, and funding options, application procedures, and degrees or certificate availability. If items or volunteers are not available, an additional program could be designed to allow those to complete a specific amount of classes at above level standard to teach the classes to the next group of people. This could help raise self-esteem and enhance one's desire to further their education in other ways. Instead of just handing out assistance, we would be providing valuable skills, which in return could build strong work ethics and marketability. Thus, reducing the amount of individuals in need of the program is the first place. And with all great intention, problems will arise. Challenges that I see emerging from the new system could include a general refusal of the program. This may result in deepening the damage to the children already in need. Another problem may be transportation. Many participants may not have the transportation necessary for consistent participation. Children is another concern. Child care is another concern. Who will care for the children while their parents are working or in class? Last but not least, of the possible blocks may include funding will there be availability? On a positive note, I believe many of the above stated concerns could be worked out if enough great minds sat down and ironed the problem areas out. I feel a support group for participants may also be used. This could open up resources such as trading, child care service, or transportation services, or so forth. This type of support may also encourage individual growth and independence. By providing a higher level of esteem through increased resources and positive relationship with others whom are working towards similar goals, with overwhelming evidence linking a lack of education to poverty and poverty to increased stress, lack of skills, and low self-esteem, something must be done. Why not start here? Welfare reform, the very root of where poverty assistance typically begins. Thank you.